You are a change maker that is passionate about changing the world. How do change makers create long lasting, sustainable change without completely sacrificing their lives and themselves? You do it by prioritizing yourself so that you can continue to power your mission. Welcome to Peace, Freedom, and Joy for Changemakers. I am your host, Michelle Vande Hey, and today's message is the power pause. Many of us have heard of the power pose, that pose where you put your hands on your hips and you stand, your chest up high. Maybe you're looking to the sky, and that is supposed to help you to feel confident and make you perform better, to feel more confident, to do better in interviews. And that power pose is supposed to help you do that. I'm here to offer the power pause. This continues to be coming up as we've talked about mindfulness being a learnable leadership skill. I was on my walk recently and I took a pause on my walk, which I don't always do, but I just felt like I wanted to pause during that walk. And there's just been a lot of stuff going on, in the world and in my life. And I just felt like I needed that pause, even though the intention of going on the walk was for me to move my body because I sit in my chair so often. But that pause really helped me to be mindful. I'm going to go back to the definition of mindfulness that we've talked about in several episodes. And the definition, according to the APA, is that mindfulness is the awareness of one's internal states and surroundings. For today's message, I decided I should look up the definition of awareness. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, awareness is the knowledge and understanding that something is happening or exists. The knowledge and understanding that something is happening or exists. So I think about it in this context of a pause helps you to become aware. It helps you to know and understand that something is happening or exists. And that helps you to be more mindful so that you know what's going on with your internal states and or your surroundings. And that can help you to be calm and confident as a leader, as someone powering your mission. And I think this is also something that is cyclical, where sometimes you need the awareness so that you take the pause, but also the pause can come first before the awareness comes. So it's kind of like this chicken and egg type of thing of like what came first. I want you to think about it in this context. Have you ever gotten in a fight with someone or maybe confronted someone and it was very heated and there was a lot of energy behind this argument? Maybe you said something you regretted or you feel bad about how you were yelling or whatever that is. Have you ever experienced that? If you haven't, you're very lucky. I experience that often, especially with parenting, but even in other aspects of life where maybe you had to confront someone and you later were like, "Ugh, I really wish I would have said that." Or maybe someone asks you, "Hey, do you want to go to this event? Or do you want to be part of this thing over here? Do you want to be interviewed on my podcast?" And you say yes. And then later on, you really wish you would have said no. Or maybe you make a decision for your organization. You say, This is what we're going to do." And later you regret it and say, "Ooh, I wish I would have thought about that a little bit more because that actually doesn't make sense anymore." This is where the pause can come in, and it's called the power pause because it really helps you to feel empowered in your decisions. When you can take a moment to pause yourself and become aware of your internal states and or your surroundings, it can help you make clear decisions that are in alignment with your mission and also in alignment with your authentic self. So I use this concept of authentic self versus conditioned self. And your authentic self comes from a place of faith, love, trust, non-judgment, and ease. And your conditioned self comes from a place of judgment, fear, worry, anxiety, and tension. And your conditioned self is there to keep you safe. So sometimes your conditioned self can show up in a way that keeps you safe, but sometimes in keeping yourself safe, you're harming others and not allowing others to feel safe. So the pause can help you notice what your body is feeling like. It can help you notice your thoughts. It can help you to collect your thoughts so that you can respond as opposed to react. And that is powerful. That is empowering. That is helping you to feel confident in the decision that you're making so that when you're saying yes to something, it's a hell yes. It's a yes for sure. That you're not going back and regretting that you said yes. And that when you're confronting a situation, when something is coming up, that you feel good about how that interaction happened, when you can take that pause and maybe settle down your nervous system and maybe gather the words that aren't from a reactive state. And that pause can also help you to make decisions that are in alignment with your mission and your authentic self so that you're not regretting them later. Taking the pause is really powerful. The power pause. So I want you to think about it again. We have the power pose, putting your hands on your hips, and that can feel empowering. And then we also have the power pause. And the power pause can be 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, whatever you need it to be, depending on the situation. If there's a heightened situation, if there's crisis, you can still take pause in that moment, even if it's for 5 milliseconds, for you to gather yourself so that you're moving forward instead of from a state of chaos, but in a state of calm and confidence. Because really, that's where a lot of confidence comes from, being calm. And in order to be calm, we need to have our nervous system in a calm place as well. And it starts with pausing. When you're feeling yourself, that's where like the awareness and the pause and the mindfulness and the leadership, this cyclical thing is that if you can be aware that your nervous system is running at all cylinders and you need to get yourself back into a parasympathetic system, then you understand that you need this pause. And that pause can help bring awareness to what is in alignment, what makes sense for me to say yes to, what makes sense for me to do next, that I'm responding instead of reacting. And when I'm responding from a place of my authentic self that's in alignment with not only my mission, but when I'm making decisions for my authentic self, that's also in the best interest of everyone around me. Have you ever thought of a power pause and how powerful a pause can really be? Now you have a couple tools. You have your power pose, which we've heard for many years now. And now you have the power pause and how that can be really powerful. And how can you do this in a way that's sustainable? How can you start implementing this? Because this is a habit. Taking the pause is a habit, and it's an important, valuable habit that is going to help create less conflict within the organization. Or maybe I shouldn't say less conflict, but when conflict arises, that it doesn't become gossip. It doesn't become something that is causing more harm because of the conflict, that it's something that is you're able to work through from this centered space, that people aren't being so offensive and defensive because they're in their conditioned selves and you're in your conditioned self, that everyone can be in their authentic self. This is why it becoming a habit is so important and so valuable. And when it can become a habit, then you have less of these things happening. And that is how you create long-term sustainable success within your organization, within your life, and within your mission. If you're not already a part of the Facebook group, Peace, Freedom, and Joy for Changemakers, you're welcome to join. It's in the show notes, or look it up on Facebook. You can connect with me on any social media platform that we are connected on: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You are welcome to send me an email about this topic, about future topics. What is your biggest takeaway from today's message? Have you ever thought about taking a pause and how powerful that pause can really be? And what are you going to do to start to implement this into your own life? Sending you all light and love, and always remember that you are worth it.